Good morning. Today's our topic is modernization of Turkey and the Mustafa Kemal Pasha role in modernizing the Turkey. Before that, I introduce myself. I am Dr. Nalini Avinash Wagmare, working as an assistant professor at Hirak Maharashtra Vidyapit, Pune. Here the Kemal Pasha introduction. Then we have to cover the topic related to his early life, revolution in Turkey, the Treaty of Lausanne in 1923, then reforms of Kemal Pasha in various fields, and establishment of Republic in Turkey, modernization of Turkey, and evaluation of Kemal Pasha, some reference book, and conclusion. In introduction, Turkey enjoys an important place in the history of West Asia. It is a meeting point of East and West, but a larger part of it lies in Asia and only a smaller one in Europe. Its geographical situation has enhanced its strategic significance. From the point of view of social and political unity, also it is one of the great nations. It inhabits are mainly Christian, Jews, Turks, and Arabs. This race came here during the historical evaluation of the Turkey and became gradually an indivisible part of the population. Then Mustafa Kemal Pasha, 1882-1938 is era. His early days, briefly I am going to introduce about these things. Kemal was born at Salonika in lower middle class family. He graduated in military science at the age of 22 from the Military Staff College in Constantinople, where one of his professors, impressed by his proficiency in mathematics, began to call him Kemal, meaning perfection. After studies, he seriously entered the political field. During the Young Turkey Revolution of 1908, he acted as a chief of staff to the commander of the army. In 1910, he went to France to study Western military science. During the Turco-Italian War of 1911, Kemal fought at Tripolitania and was one of the Turkey's best generals in the Balkan Wars of 1912-1930. When we studied the, already we studied the this First World War, we know the Balkan War is one of the cause to start the World War first. Then First World War and Turkey. Turkey joined First World War in November 1914 on the side of Germany. To win the war, Turkey used the policy of pan-Islamism as a diplomatic manner, but Turkey did not get her object because England and France encouraged the spirit of nationalism in Arab countries, and the Arab nations started a struggle to overthrow a yoke of Turkish empire. Finally, Turkey lost and signed the treaty, which is considered very humiliating one to Turkey. Then what was that treaty? Treaty of Sevres with the Allied powers. The Treaty of Sevres on August 10, 1920, the Allied powers concluded the Treaty of Sevres and forced Turkey to put her signature on it. The following decisions were taken in this treaty. Turkey renounced all her rights on Egypt, Sudan, Tripoli, Morocco, Tunisia, Arabia, Palestine, Mesopotamia, and Syria. Asia Minor and some portion of Thrace were ceded to Greece. Independence of the King of Hesse was acknowledged. The islands of Rhodes thus were also given to Italy. So this treaty is not given satisfaction to Turkey. Then later on, when Mustafa Kemal Pasha became as a president of Turkey, then he introduced the many changes in political as well as other field. International reforms of Kemal Pasha we studied at that time, change in judicial system, freedom of religion given to all, as well as change in the method of education, then the emancipation of women, then economic development of Turkey, then adaptation of family names, then foreign policy of Turkey, relation with Russia, France, America, England, we see briefly in further. Then President Kemal Pasha, the Turkish Sultan, had abdicated throne before the Lausanne conference began. His nephew Abdul Majid was installed in his place, but he was deprived of all his rights. The Grand National Assembly was constituted on the basis of the election held in October 1923. This assembly declared Turkey a republic on October 29, 1923 and appointed Mustafa Kemal Pasha its first president. His party enjoyed majority in the assembly. Kemal Pasha decided to make Turkey a modern and strong nation embedded in Western civilization. Uh, uh, then he also introduced many changes in Turkey. Then national reconstruction works. Kemal Pasha adopted the following 6 principles for the reconstruction of Turkey. First one is republicanism, then nationalism, then equity, controlled economy, secularism, and by evolutionism or reformism. He wanted to make Turkey a progressive republic based on nationality. His party approved of these principles in 1931 and incorporated them into the constitution in 1937. To achieve his objective, Kemal Pasha initiated some following reforms. Let's see which were those reforms. Then abolition of Sultanate. Kemal Pasha abolished the Sultanate and Sultan Muhammad IV was driven into exile on November 1st, 1922. The Republic was officiated established on October 29, 1923. In 1924 itself, a democratic constitution was hammered out. Kemal Pasha was elected as the first president. His friend Ismail Pasha was made prime minister. The system of government was parliamentary. The Council of Ministers was responsible to Grand National Assembly, a unicameral legislature elected by all male citizens. The abolition of orthodox, corrupt, autocratic, and blood-stained government of the Sultan was the greatest blessing that Turks could have. Then abolition of Khalifa. All the Turkish sultans had been the Khalifas or religious heads of the Muslims. After the abolition of Sultanate, the people thought that the Khalifa was the head of the administration. But in this sense, situation a secular state could not be contemplated. Therefore, on March 3, 1924, Kemal Pasha moved a resolution in the National Assembly that Caliphate should be abolished, and the next day, the last Khalifa was banished from the country. The abolition of Caliphate marked the end of religious fanaticism, and Turkey became a de facto secular state in the world. Means world system he abolished and new changes brought in the Turkey, or we also call Turkey as a Turkestan, Turkey. Then abolition of Islamic tradition, which is the major changes done by this Kemal Pasha. Then abolition of Islamic tradition. Under that, abolition of Caliphate was followed by the abolition of Office Sheikh al-Islam and the closure of the Ministry of Sharia. Religious schools were closed. The Sharia courts where the mullahs and qazis were removed from the state. Now their meeting and of people would not change unless their dress was changed. So here Kemal Pasha introduced the new changes. Therefore, all Turkish citizens were forced to put on a European dress style. As we know that in Turkestan, the dress code is totally different to new type of European style of dress code. But he wanted to modernize the Turkey, so he introduced the new dress code like a European style. Even wearing a face cap, that white color face cap worn by men, was made a penal offense, and therefore he put on the European hats. So instead of Islamic style of, now he introduced used the European type of hats. A law was passed which dissolved all religious association of the saints and beggars and forbade pilgrimage to and worship of the Muslims of the holy saints. The section of the constitution which made Islam the state religion was abrogated in 1928. Now the government office bearers had to swear not in the name of the Allah, but allegiance to the republic. So here, instead of Islamic state, instead of according to Quran running the state, here Mustafa Kemal Pasha totally introduced the democracy system of government and new changes he brought in Turkey. The state became secular and Islam was made private religion only, not to practice publicly. That was statement stated by the Mustafa Kemal Pasha brought rigorous changes in the Turkey. Then his educational reforms, all schools in Turkey were brought under the Ministry of Education. This put an end to the influence of mullahs and maulavis in the field of education. So before that, they only giving the education related to religious. So that's why he brought the all schools under the one system, Ministry of Education. So education for all children between 17 and 16 of age was made compulsory education. They have to take compulsory. How we find compulsory education to men and women, girls in these states also. So Kemal Pasha adopted the Roman script in place of Arabic script, and that is made also compulsory. Then new secondary schools and universities were also established and foreign experts were invited for higher education. So when we find this type of changes, so he was tremendously changed the education system, and even he invited the foreign educational experts to teach his subjects also, or people in Turkey. Special institutions were set up for the study of agriculture, commerce, and science, and medical science college was built in Istanbul, and political and social science in Ankara. Initiated several newspapers. Some well-known newspapers were Aksam, was Jan. All these efforts created an intellectual growth of Western culture in Turkey. So in the real sense, we find the total modernization of Turkey found in his period. Then capital, as he wanted to snap all connection between the old regime and the people, he transferred the capital from Constantinople to Angora, in the high lands of Anatolia. The name of the Constantinople was changed in Istanbul. Earlier, for some time, the Turks used to call it as Istanbul. Then one of the good changes done by this Kemal Pasha, when we study his life sketch or his reforms in various fields, we always thankful to Kemal Pasha when very in that period he also changes the in position of women and their related works. The condition of women in Turkey was highly deplorable. They possessed no political or social rights. They were always kept in seclusion in Parda system, and there was no arrangement for their education. Kemal Pasha wanted to draw up on women's cooperation for the development of Turkey. So he had paid special attention to improving these conditions. Legal polygamy, which was the main cause of the degradation of women, was abolished by the laws of 1925. Then Parda or veil was made optional, and women throwing off the centuries-old veil would come out into the open to have the advantage of free life enjoyed by women in advanced countries. In 1926, civil marriages were made compulsory. Women could choose careers as freely as men. So he made equality with men for introducing many acts and laws in Turkey. Then equal rights were granted to both men and women in matter of divorce also. To awaken political consciousness among them, they were granted adult franchise. Gradually, the educated women of Turkey made entry into government services and professions. As a result of this, 17 women were elected in the election of 1935. Education was encouraged and primary education was made compulsory. The replacement of Arabic alphabets by the Latin was another achievement of Kemal Pasha. The Western dress became the national wear of Turkey. Thus, the efforts of Kemal Pasha filled the women with a new zeal, and they willingly contributed to the national reconstruction works. Then other changes we find in related to administrative and legal reforms. Great administrative changes were made on the European model, and the administrative system was modernized. The old Ottoman administrative units were changed. Turkey was divided into 16 provinces, which were subdivided into 430 Kazakh districts. Each district was further subdivided into nahiyas. So Kemal Pasha also wanted to change the legal system because before the establishment of the republic, the Turkish legal system was mainly based on the principles of Islamic law. In April 1924, the National Assembly debarred the religious codes from hearing revenue cases. Then he introduced several notable changes in the field of law. The Swiss Civil Code was adopted, and the Italian Penal Code and the German mercantile laws were implemented. Besides this, a new business code based on the mercantile laws prevailed in Turkey and in Italy and Germany was also adopted by Kemal Pasha. Then these legal reforms diminished the rights of the ulemas, who till now thought that they were the despotic custodians of the law. The new code raised the status of the citizen and put more or less on the par with his counterpart in European countries. So it is very hard to make changes in law, but Kemal Pasha done those things, introducing the new codes. Then economic reforms for the development of Turkey. The nationalists wanted to make Turkey industrially self-sufficient, but there were several obstructions in the way. 80% of the population was still engaged in agriculture. There was shortage of funds, and the means of transportations were underdeveloped. So even in the Kemal Pasha wanted to make Turkey economically strong, he adopted the policy of controlled economy at that time. Then the tax system was overhauled and efforts were made to balance the budget. Public finance was put on solid footing. To increase the production of wealth, plans were drawn up for minimizing a 3-year plan for agriculture, a 4-year plan road development, a 10-year plan was made. New railway tracks were laid from Ankara to Kayseri, Sivas and Samsung in the 1924. Contracts were given to some foreign companies also. So here also Kemal Pasha founded several banks for the control of economy and supply of finances. In 1934, Russia granted an interest-free loan to accelerate the progress of the industrialization program. So not only in political, economic, religious, social life, Kemal Pasha also done some agriculture reforms also. For the economic reconstruction of Turkey, Kemal Pasha paid adequate importance to agriculture also. To raise agriculture production and to improve the condition of the peasant, new methods of agriculture were propagated through the agriculture colleges, as well as its experimental and model forms was introduced there. Some Turkish students were sent to America for higher studies in the agriculture sciences. Then feudal system was completely abolished. That is one major changes we find here in Turkey. Between 1927 and 1934, about 14,000 square miles of additional land was brought under cultivation. Land ceiling of large agricultural farms was imposed in 1945. New labor laws were introduced in 1936 to take care of the interest of the workers. Thus, Kemal Pasha made all-out efforts to strengthen the Turkish economy. But the economic development recorded a slow progress as the government followed the policy of not contracting the foreign loans. That is the major reason. Then other reforms of Kemal Pasha for modernizing Turkey are the abolished the Muslim style of greeting and introduced the European manner of handshaking. So Muslim type of greeting we have say like this. Now he introduced the handshaking. Greek names were removed and their place was taken by Turkish name. Then Constantinople was converted into Istanbul. Then again by government order Muslim holiday was transferred from Friday to Sunday. Means in earlier in Turkey they only given Friday as a holiday. Now they are declared the Sunday as a holiday. Then he took several steps to separate religion from politics and secularizing Turkey. Another revolutionary reform was the closure of the monasteries and the abolition of religious codes and religious orders in April 1924. Religious schools were converted into state schools. That is already we know that. Muslim clergymen who opposed the new reforms were brushed aside and the more troublesome ones were put to death. He crushed the revolt in a reign of terror, banishing or executed rebel leaders also. Then only one political party, nationalism and the true liberty or democracy did not go hand in hand in Turkey. This enabled Kemal to impose the rule of the nationalist political party, the only political party whose electoral candidates were all nominated by Kemal. Since 1927, Kemal allowed in 1913 the Liberal Republican Party to function as an opposition party. But before long, by the end of 1913, itself, this party came to an end for want of support. Then strength and benevolence. Kemal Pasha was a rare combination of strength of steel and paternal benevolence. He thought clearly and acted swiftly. He had fixed the targets of his country's progress, and to reach this, he prepared to take any step, preventive and punitive. The external forms of government was democratic, but they imposed his will on all in a dictatorial way and allowed no interference of any type. Then greatness. Kemal Pasha was the savior of nation, earned the gratitude of the Turks. He lifted Turkey from the morass of national humiliation to national honor. He gave a liberal constitution and introduced benevolent reforms, what we found those things. In the political, social, economic, and other aspect, he transferred Turkey, originally a weak and backward country, into a modern nation. Owing to his dynamic leadership, the Turks who won back their self-respect were welded into a nation. The grateful Turks honored him by giving him the title Ataturk, the father of the Turks. That title given to him by his countrymen. And different from Hitler and Mussolini. So yeah, Kemal Pasha was dictator, but to put him in category of dictators like Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, Franco, Salazar would be unfair to him. His sole aim was to improve the Turkey and not to militarize it for foreign conquest and imperialist expenses. He had no desire to exercise fascist control. He wanted to only modernize his nation. Then Kemal's foresighted statesmanship and reforming zeal evoked admiration not only in Turkey but also all over the world. Once Turkey became completely free from foreign interference, Kemal followed a wise policy of friend lines towards other countries also. When we find his Turkey's relation with foreign countries, there in 1925 he made with Soviet Russia a treaty of mutual guarantee and neutrality. He established friendly relations and made an entity with Greece in 1930. In 1932, Turkey joined the League of Nations, and 2 years later, she became a party to the Balkan Pact with Greece, Romania, and Yugoslavia. Death of Kemal Pasha. This father of Turkish nation passed away on November 10, 1938 at the age of 57. He built a new Turkey. No one in the West Asia cast such a moral and psychological influence on the people as Kemal Pasha did during his regime. To acknowledge his contribution, he was honored the title of Father of a Nation. After his death, the National Assembly elected his friend İsmet İnönü, the president of Turkey, who continued in office till 1950 and followed the policy of Kemal Pasha. So, evaluation or conclusion of Turkey. Kemal Pasha was a builder of modern Turkey. He introduced reforms on his shared principles and made Turkey a strong nation and put her on the path of progress. He aimed at the westernization of Turkey. It was because of his genius and authority that he could carry out these revolutionary reforms in Turkey. Sometimes he behaved like a despot, but his despotism was infused with liberal ideas and he never used it to go against his own acts. That is why the history of modernization Turkey is a record of achievements of a single person, that is Kemal Pasha. Historian Webster calls the work done by Kemal Ataturk for the regeneration of Turkey a wonderful drama of hospital, because like the young Turks, Mustafa Bhat also operated upon him and removed all the decayed organs and created a new Turkey. For all these efforts made by him, he is called as a Ataturk. So these are the reference book you can refer for detailed study of Kemal Pasha. So here briefly I highlighted a brief life sketch of Kemal Pasha and his reforms and modernization of Turkey and other things. Thank you very much for listening.